I read a few chapters of the end of the Book of Denial. Start with Denial, chapter 8. Maybe 38. Alright, Denial's vision of the ram and goat. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Denial. And after that which appeared unto me at the first, I saw in a vision. And it came to pass, when I saw that, it was at Shushan in its palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high. The one was higher than the other. And the higher came up lashed. And I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will, and became great. And I was considering, behold, and a he-goat came from the west, on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram. He was moved with shoulder against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he was cast down to the ground, and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and he was very strong, and the great horn was broken, for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great toward Ethel, toward the east, toward the pleasant land, and it waxed great into the host of heaven. And it came down some of the hosts of the stars of the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself, even to the prince of the host. By him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And a host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it was cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Then heard one saint speaking. Another saint said unto a certain saint, which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said unto me, unto 200 and 300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Alright, now Gabriel's going to interpret Denial's vision. And it came to pass, even I, Denial, had seen the vision, and sought for the meaning. Then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So he came near where I stood. And when he came, I was afraid, and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at this time of the end shall be the vision. Now as he was speaking to me, I was in a deep sleep, on my face toward the ground. But he touched me, and set me upright, and said, behold, I will make thee know, or shall be in the last end of the indignation, but at the appointed time the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns is the kings of Media and Persia, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king, on it being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it. 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. In the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding, dark sentence, shall stand up. His power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper, in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but it shall be broken without hand. And the vision of the evening and the morning, which was told, is true. Wherefore thou shalt shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And after I fainted, and was sick certain days. And afterward I arose and did the king's business. And I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. Number 9, chapter 9. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, the seed of Medes, which was made king over the realm of Chaldeans. The first year of the reign I had not understood by the books of the number of the years. Wherefore the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. And I set my face unto the Lord God to seek my prayer and supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. I prayed unto the Lord my God, and made my confession, and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant, and mercy to them that love him, to them that keep his commandments. We have sinned, we have committed iniquity, we have done wickedly, we have rebelled, even by departing from our precepts and by thy darkness. And have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, to all the people of the land. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as this day to the men of Judah, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, unto all Israel that are near, that are far off, to all countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass. They have trespassed against thee. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. And to the Lord our God belongeth mercy and forgiveness. We have rebelled against him. And we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he has set before us by his servant the prophets. They all Israel have transgressed the law, even by departing, that they may not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, against our judges that judged us, bring upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. As written in the law of Moses, all this evil is come upon us, yet may we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities, and understand thy truth. Therefore the Lord hath watched upon the evil, and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all his works, which he doeth, for we obeyed not his voice. And now, O Lord our God, thou hast brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt. Now therefore, O our God, hear the prayer of thy servant and the supplication, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary that is desolate, for the Lord's sake. My God, incline thine ear and hear, open thine eyes. Behold our desolations at the city which is called by thy name, for we do not present our supplications before thee for our righteousness, but for thy great mercies. O Lord, hear. Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not thine own sake. O my God, for thy city and thy people are called by thy name. Alright, now Gabriel's prophecy of the 70 weeks. I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin, and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain. for the holy mountain of God. Yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he formed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. The beginning of thy supplications and the commandment came forth, for I have now come to shew thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore understand the matter, consider the vision. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people, upon the holy city, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring everlasting righteousness, to seal up the vision and the prophecy, to anoint the most holy. Now therefore, understand that from going forth, the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times, after 62 weeks shall the Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the Prince shall come, shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and there shall be with a flood, even unto the end of the war. Desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. In the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. The overspreading abominations shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation that, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Chapter 10. Chapter 10. Daniel's vision of the Almighty Man. In the 3rd year, Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar, and the thing was true. But the time appointed was long, and instead of taking an understanding of the vision, in those days I denial was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, until 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And the 24th day of the 1st month, and I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, and I lifted my eyes, and looked to behold a certain man clothed in linen. His loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body was like beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning. His eyes as lamps of fire, his arms and his feet like the color of polished brass. And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I Daniel alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and I saw this great vision. There remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption. I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words. When I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground. And now the angel's prophecy of Persia and Greece. Behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees, upon the palms of my hands. He said unto me, O Daniel, man greatly beloved, understand words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. When he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. And he said unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for I am from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, and to chasten thyself before thy God. Thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. And the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, but lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the king of Persia. And I am to make thee understand what shall befall the people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. Alright, when he spoke such words to me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. Behold, one like this multitude of the sons of men touched my lips, and then I opened my mouth, and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I retain no strength, for How can the servant of this Lord talk with this my Lord? As for me, straightway there remained no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. And they came again and touched me like the prince of a man, they strengthened me. And he said, O man, greatly beloved, fear not, peace be upon thee. Strong, yea, be strong. When he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak. Thou hast strengthened me. Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I came unto thee? I returned to the fight with Prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the Prince of Grecia shall come. But I will show thee that which is noted in the scripture of truth, that there is none that holdeth with me in these things, that Michael your prince. 11. Now the overthrow of Persia. Also I, in the first year of Darius in Mayday, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. Now will I shew thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all. By his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Persia. A mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided towards the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others beside those are now the kings of the south and north. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes he shall be strong above him. His dominion shall be a great dominion. In the end of his years they shall join themselves together. For the king's daughter of the south shall come to a king of the north to make an agreement. But she shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm. But she shall be given up, and they that brought her, he that begat her, he that strengtheneth her in these times. But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up in his estate, or shall come with an army, shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail, and shall also carry them captives into Egypt, their gods with their princes, with all their precious vessels of silver and gold. And shall continue more years than the king of the north, till the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces. One shall certainly come and overflow and pass through. Then shall he return and be stirred up, even to his fortress. And the king of the south shall be moved with shoulder, and shall come forth and fight with them, even with the king of the north, and he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given to his hand. When he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and shall cast down many 10,000s, but shall not be strengthened by it. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army with much riches. In those times shall many stand up against the king of the south also. Robbers of the people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision. They shall fall. So the king of the north shall come and cast up a mount, and take the most fenced cities. The arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he that cometh against them shall do according to his own will. None shall stand before him. He shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones thus shall he do. He shall give in the daughter of women, corrupting her, but she shall not stand on his side, neither before him. After this shall he turn his face into the isles, and shall take many, but a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach he shall cause it to turn upon him. He shall turn his face toward the ford of his own land. He shall stumble and fall and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes, and the glory of heaven, the glory of the kingdom. But within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom. But he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. And with the arms of a flood shall they be overthrown from before him, shall be broken. He also the prince of the covenant, after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully. For he shall come up and shall become strong with a small people, shall enter peaceably even upon the fattest places of the province. He shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers, and shall scatter among them the prey, and spoil, and riches. Yea, he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds even for a time. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with the very great and mighty army. And he shall not stand. They shall forecast devices against him. Yea, that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him. His army shall overflow. Many shall fall down slain. Both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table. But it shall not prosper yet, for the end shall be at the times appointed. Then shall he return into his land with great riches. His heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall do exploits and return to his own land. And at the time appointed he shall return and come toward the south, and it shall not be as the former or as the latter, in the tyranny of the western king. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved, and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do, he shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. And the arm shall stand up of his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries, but the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, and they shall fall by the sword, and by flame of captivity, and by spoil of many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. And some of them understand shall fall to try them, and to purge, to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for appointed time. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that his determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any god, who shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver and precious stones and pleasant things. Thus he shall do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for the gain. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen and many ships, shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow the Passover, and shall enter also into the glorious land. Many countries shall be overthrown, but they shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and Ethiopians shall be his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly to make away many, and he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. He shall come to an end, and none shall help him. 12. Now Malach was deliverance in the end times. And at that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince which standeth forth the children of thy people. There should be a time of trouble, such as never since there was a nation, even to that time, and to that same time. And at that time the people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life. Put to shame on everlasting contempt. They that be wise to shine as the brightness of the firmament, and that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O denial, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Now I denial looked, behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? And heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the rivers, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swore by him that liveth forever and ever, it shall be for a time, times and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of his holy people, all these things shall be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. And said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, Go thy way, denial, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified, made white, and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time of the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, the abomination that maketh desolate set up. There shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth, and cometh through the 330 days. But go that way till the end. Thou shalt rest, and stand in thy lot at the end of days.